Welcome to this game of Mechabellum. As you can see here, I'm fighting against Sharku and options. Sabertooth, Rhino, Typhoon and Aereo's back. And Sabertooth looking actually really good. Starting with Crawlers and Sledges. And I get Sabertooth on round 3. Which is a good amount of money, and I'm really liking the Sledge openers. Especially since I started going vertical with them. On my opponent's side, Giant Spec with Arclight and Sledges, which is a really good one in my opinion. Fire Badger Specialist with Crawlers and Sabertooths, so this one could go for a Saber Crawler. Speed with Balls and Fangs, which is not bad, a lot of HP, and you could go for Wraith Ball, speed helps. And Quick Supply Spec with Fangs and Fire Badgers, which is also not bad. I like Quick Supply, although the starting unit's Fire Badger is not the greatest, but it can be used especially for Mountain. Fire Badger Mountain, I think it's a good combo, especially if you go Fire Badger with Scorching Charge. But let's skip, and my opponent goes for Giant Spec, which, as I said, is a good Giant Spec with Arclights and Sledges. So we have similar starts. You can see wall in here and turret in here, and he could be on either side or no side, just going standard. I will think of going the turret, but then I'm thinking if he's going on one side, it's probably on the wall. It's better than fighting a turret. So you'll see me putting my Sledges in here. And looking at the enemy board, he has Sledges and Arclights. And what I need here is damage. So I won't go straight for Arclights, and instead I'm grabbing Marksmen. They also serve as anti-air, although he can't grab air on the first round. At least not unless he sacrifices the Sledge. You see my shaft very on the backline, end up going for standard position, but most of his units turned. Just 2 Sledges and 1 Arclight are going for my other tower. And you can see he grabbed no shaft, so he also grabbed 2 Marksmen. But I am winning. Tower the buff. Let's speed this. This turret killing my Crawlers. But this Markman finished everything on the side before they could get my tower. And here we have a few options. Looking at those, Fang looked like the best one. 2 deployments of Shaft right at the start is hard to pass. You could also go for 2 Void Eyes, considering what his army is. Decide to go for the Fangs. They also serve as anti-wasps. And you see me putting them in the back. One here behind the tower and the other here also behind the tower. So late Fangs to deal with any air threat and serve as late shaft, which is great against the Marksman. Also see me grabbing 1 Arclight, because I think he's probably going to grab a shaft this time. 1 Marksman in here to deal with the units diverting to this side. And I still have 150. So that's enough for 1 more unit, or I could go for attack or defense enhancement. You see me just going for defense enhancement. My opponent, Oil here. So you can expect that he will probably try to use fire on the next turn, since there is no unit to put in fire on this turn. And here, there is just one problem. The Fangs are slower than the Marksman. They won't arrive in time to protect it. And you can see marksman's down. This side, it's working quite well. It's my line of sledges here. And I am winning the main fight, even if on this side I end up losing for one arc light. And here there is a slow, but marksman can shoot right at the start of the oil. And another victory for me. And now I get my saber. Here, Dominion Core, which I don't like that much. Although there is a few units where it's useful. But in my opinion it takes too long to pay off. Even if there is the attack and HP. So I just skip. But my opponent, he will end up choosing Dominion Core. And put on one of his marksmen for now. I would consider this a better card if it gave extra range for the unit. Like 20 extra range, and it would be a great card. Because suddenly the unit you chose would be behind the others of the same kind. So it would almost guarantee that it's the last unit to die if it's a long range unit. You see me grabbing range for my arc lights, since he does have quite a bit of shaft now, and he can put more, and putting in the arc light in here, because this side is very vulnerable to more shaft. I'm also mounting an attack on this side with my saber tooth and one arc light. The idea is to go straight for the tower. And level 1 damage. And I'm doing nothing about the fire in here, but the range does help. With extra range, they will stay out of the fire. And you can see my opponent went for a fire badger to put fire on this oil here. And my attack here is working. Selling this turret here made everything go for this one and my unit, so straight path to the tower. The fire here is burning my crawlers. But with the debuff, now the marksman, the saber tooth, the tower, and my units in the backline here, because the sleds are not even in the fire yet. Now they are entering the fire. You can see that he chose quite well his king unit with the Dominion Core. Yes, it will be the last unit to die. Although it didn't change that he lost. And he's still 100 money below me because of that choice. Here, none of those look that good for me, so I'll just skip. Electromag could be used on his in here, but right now he has no tech to just slow his units or disable if he ended up grabbing techs. You see me putting crawlers here because I was worried that he would do something to try to insta-lock my saber and arc light in here. Also putting one sledge, so I'm reinforcing this side of the attack. And crawlers. I think this one's going for this side. Fangs. Put here the fangs. The idea is protection against missiles, because if you throw a missile here, could be quite devastating. Even if it won't kill the arc light, it will kill all the sledges and leave the arc light almost dead. I'm putting one missile here. The idea is to kill his sledges, so I have an even easier time arriving here, even if they are still being pulled by this side. He will turn moving his units with a beacon. He will throw a missile here, hitting my saber tooth and arc light, and put crawlers here to distract him. He went for Phoenix on this side with laser sight, which is a strange choice in my opinion. You can see I'm still winning this side, and I obliterated this side of his. He has way too few units for my reinforcements. And debuff once again. I have to give him credit that he really chooses the best units to put the Dominion Core. It's usually the last one dying. You can see, killed everything and he's the last one. So it's not killing his army. But he's still losing the fight, and I haven't lost a single HP yet. Options. I was thinking of maybe going for a Vulcan Descent, throw it here, but this one has quite a bit of HP and good damage. My Vulcan wouldn't last long on this backline and has a lot of units to try to kill, so it wouldn't work as a sniping for his marksman here. So I'll just throw underground threat in the end, because it does annoy him. It will pull a lot of units to the underground threat and all his DPS. Let's see, underground threat. Right in the backline. I could throw it here, but it would go straight for the tower, but I think the Arclight will just turn and kill all the shaft. It wouldn't help that much. You can see me putting shields here for protection against Vulcans. I didn't want to invest in more units in the backline to deal with Vulcans, and if he went for a Vulcan here, he would keep shooting at the shields doing nothing for the entire fight. Vulcans have a really hard time trying to kill shields. You see me putting another marksman in here, level 2. Missile to kill these crawlers faster. Another missile here again. I'm trying to finish this fast, because he's almost dead. He did try to move these crawlers, but with the missile, it didn't work. And he went for Raidens and put the Dominion Core on a Raiden. He also went for Shaft in the backline, but I have quite a bit of Shaft. So my backline was protected against these crawlers. And almost one more shot. Tower debuff. His Raidens worked really well against my sledges, which were giving him trouble. So that department, it's good for him. And once again, really good choice of unit. It's the last one to die again. But even if he's choosing well his Dominion Core units, he is still losing and almost dead. And you can see he finally used his specialist, which was Giant Spec. Out of those, the best one in my opinion was the Storm. I could use them. His army is very slow. You can see here, he only has 2 crawlers, and the rest is always low units. You see me putting anti-missile in here to stop missiles from slowing my units or killing my sledges. And you see me putting storms both on this side. Also, my marksmen are all level 3 with range, and I think I will even grab AA on them, so they can target Raidens fast and try to kill them sooner, and if I kill this Raiden, his entire army dies. Here it is. And one more shaft. Which I did put here. And let's see how this goes. My opponent also went for the storms. put a lot of missiles. So my anti-missile couldn't destroy both, but he saved my sledges. Here the missiles got the wasps. There's still a few wasps in here, but I do have late fangs. Help clear the wasps. So the wasps weren't so much of a problem. They would be worse on this side. And the king dies. The army dies with it. It only killed a few units on this side. Almost everything was already dead. And that's much more than enough to win. Though, in my opinion, this is still not a good card. It leaves you vulnerable to sudden death if your king dies, and it doesn't give you a lot of advantages. It takes 3 rounds just to pay off the card, although the card does give 50% attack and 100% HP. So it does make your unit quite tanky. But since you have to put on a very backline unit, you can't even use that tankiness that well. If you at least could put it on a Titan, then maybe I would think on thinking that this is a good card. Since imagine a mountain with this. Mountain with 100% extra HP and 50% attack. It would be too tempting not to use. But if you could put items on Titans, things would get out of control. Imagine a super heavy on a mountain. Just increase the mountain HP by a lot. Basically 3 mountains in one. But that's it for this game. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.